All right, we're live. Welcome to the Fast Seven. Kate, I'm very excited to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I haven't been on LinkedIn in a little bit, so it's kind of nice to be back.
Yeah, you took a little break and now you're back. Have you been enjoying your summer?
Yes, it is wonderful. Wisconsin's actually had a great summer, it's nice because it's a long winter. So
Oh, yeah, because it gets really cold there.
it does. It really does. Really cold is like negative 30 degrees for anyone not used to really cold.
Wow, that's really cold. And then how hot is it right now?
90s.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I think we're in the hundreds right now. So,
Can't do that.
yeah. Okay, so the whole point of the show is to ask you some questions. I have about seven because that's the whole, fast seven. And we want to make it short and sweet, but for anyone that is listening, please add comments because that makes it more fun and you can ask Kate anything. So we'll see if we get any questions, Kate, but we'll start with an easy one. Hopefully it's an easy one.
Maybe.
Just describe yourself in one word or like what is your word of the year? So I guess that's two questions.
And neither of them are easy. The best way I've been told, and I think of it as like I feel like I'm very passionate. So like passionate about kind of what I do, and like just you see that I'm very excited about most things. So that's the word I choose.
Passionate. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. And do you have a word for the year that you're like, whenever you're struggling, you just go back to that word and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be okay.
No, but I feel like I should find one.
Okay. Yeah,
What's your
definitely.
word of the year, Kaylee?
Grace. Giving
Grace.
myself grace because I
That's a good
stress
one.
myself
And I
out.
do think that a lot of like everyone needs a little bit of grace.
Yes. And especially we need to give ourselves grace because we're so hard on ourselves. And yeah, I need to be less hard on myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so what is this? We're gonna switch right into automotive. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to introduce you, like who you are and who you're with.
Oh, yes, that might be helpful. So I'm Kate Beirowski. I am the inside sales director for Torqueda. Torqueda is probably not everyone knows what it is. It is a younger company, but I started here in February. So Torqueda is a data and analytics company, and we focus on tires. So helping anyone that is a tire retailer, we help them. Make data driven decisions, so being able to provide them with tire pricing, helping them have the right inventory in stock, and just helping them run their business more efficiently.
Oh, yes. I love that about Torqueda because I always connect with them because what you guys do for tires is like what we do for all the other part stuff.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. Okay, so I wanted to dive right into automotive and get your perspective on because you've been in automotive for how long? How many years? A while, right?
About 5 years, and prior to that I was on the diesel side, so altogether about 10 years within the automotive and diesel industry.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've been in it for a while. And so I want to get your perspective on the biggest opportunity that dealerships are missing in specifically fixed operations.
Two things I'm going to say. I know you said, so obviously working for Torqueda, I see such a huge opportunity in the tire space for dealerships specifically. There's a lot of misconception, or honestly, a lot of dealerships mark up tires pretty significantly because they're not always looking for that business. And people end up going to the Costco's, the Walmarts, really quick tire change type places where dealerships are missing out. And if you think of every time your car comes in the shop, there's an inspection done. And when that inspection is done, you're finding things that need to be done on that car. Walmart, Costco, they're getting repeat business, they're getting brake jobs, they're getting profitable services because they're choosing not to do tire business or focus on it. And now with the world changing towards EVs, there's not going to be those maintenance type items that are going to help you get to do the walk around, to be able to see and understand different services. So, and tires are going to be more prevalent because you go through tires faster with an EV vehicle. That is something I've learned since I've joined Torqueda, that you go through tires faster. So if you're not getting the tire business, you're missing out on a lot of profitable work. So I think that there's a huge opportunity in the fixed ops for specifically dealerships.
Absolutely. Well, and even the non-EV cars or the ICE vehicles, there's such an opportunity for retention because a lot of people don't even realize dealerships sell tires.
Exactly. And I mean, for me as a mom, I need convenience. Like if I normally go there, or a lot of places offer like the pickup drop off services, I'm going to choose convenience over a couple dollars for a tire. That's me personally, but I think a lot of people are like that they want, and if they trust you. So I go to an independent repair shop. I know all my dealership guys are like, why do you do that? But it's convenience. I trust them. They take care of it. And I think that's an important thing that fixed ops needs to consider. The second thing I was going to say, and I always am an advocate for technicians, just with my background with Wrenchway, there's an opportunity for the fixed ops department to treat technicians better, to make a better environment, invest in them, and help change that mindset in the industry. And I will always preach that. So.
Yes, and that's something definitely that's number one on the list as far as where the biggest opportunity is, and that's supporting our technicians. So
Absolutely.
And
The
it's
tires,
great.
there's a lot of opportunity there too.
Absolutely. And it's really cool to hear that you're still like, even though you're not working for that company, you're still like passionate about, and that just shows you're passionate.
Is my word.
It's perfect. Okay, so what is something, actually, I'm going to skip over that question because it's kind of a hard one. What do people misunderstand about you the most?
I don't know. This is a hard question too, but also I don't know how. I think I used to sometimes come off a little strong and be kind of have a misconception about like my intentions. Since probably like the last 3 or 4 years, like I have done a lot of work to just be me and be transparent, be direct, and just you get what you see. And I think that has helped me not. I don't know. You get what you see with me. And I think that has helped people understand like the passionate side. I get excited. I probably have too much energy. I'm caffeinated. And I think people understand that now. And I've learned how to be direct, how to deliver my messages better, that I don't think I necessarily have that, but I definitely understand where in the past, in the younger in my career, that can come off a little strong. So I don't know. Everyone knows, especially on LinkedIn, you get what you see. And I think just owning that has helped that too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And just having that, that strong personality and that energy that can kind of intimidate people, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they have this misunderstanding where, you deliver the message differently or however you connect, and it sounds like you've shifted that a little bit and you are who you are.
Yes, absolutely. And I own it. I mean, there's no change in this.
Exactly. It looks like we have someone watching, but I don't know who because StreamYard doesn't show us. So if you're watching, please let us know you're watching.
Hello.
And then we can say hi. Okay, so what is the best piece of advice you would give someone getting into automotive? Because you've been in for a while, going back to the original, like you, or not the original you, but like when you first started, what would you want to tell yourself?
So the thing that has helped me the most, I think, in like my automotive career is networking. I mean, like I have become friends with you, and like we talk outside of just doing a LinkedIn Live or Parts Edge, and networking has helped me professionally not only make connections and make sales, because obviously that's the intention of my job, is to sell things, but also I have learned, and I took a step back and I admitted I don't know everything. I remember like one of my first videos I posted was asking to understand. Oh, it's Marshall. It's understanding like what a service advisor role is, which is like so simple, but I wouldn't have known that. I just go in and hand my car over and hope everything gets fixed, and that's it. And I owned that I didn't know everything. And I think that gained a lot of respect. And I also learned a lot. And I've put myself out there. I've joined different groups to help learn the industry. And I think that network has been so awesome. And the automotive network is so connected. There are so many genuinely nice people in this industry that want to help others. So I think joining that was really, really helpful. And for women, it is so much more challenging joining this industry. There is a lot of misconceptions about women in the industry, that they don't know enough about automotive. I'm sure you see it all the time, but it's kind of cool. 2 women are on here right now. And I think just making sure you stand up for yourself as a female, you learn, and also don't just go with it. I've had a technician tell me, oh, I just like let the comments go. You can't. You need to be respected. And I think standing up for yourself is absolutely a challenge, and making sure that your employer supports that too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So basically finding a network, finding a group of people you connect with, and don't be afraid to ask questions so that you can learn, because that's how we learn, is asking those questions that maybe we feel like we should know, but it's okay to ask those questions.
Networking, I think, helped me grow the most in the automotive network, or like since I've joined the industry, like it has helped me immensely. The things I would have never learned, the information I did, unless I joined like a network. So absolutely vital.
Yeah, and there's a ton of groups and networking opportunities out there. Just going to events and joining all the online, virtual meetups that we have since COVID and everything. So
Service Drive Live. I mean, I can always
got to give them a shout out. And then there's Fixed Ops Mastermind with Dave Foy. Yes. The Fixed Ops Roundtable. There's just so many different groups.
Yeah. And almost everyone I've come across from has been absolutely genuine and wanting to help support. So
absolutely. Yep. It's been I feel like the COVID is what changed the whole way we network. I don't know about you. The COVID or COVID changed everything. I mean, it changed the way I was connecting with people. So it's been awesome. Okay. So I want to go back to, I feel like this is a hard question to answer. What is the most, because you're getting into your new role, have you found anything frustrating about what you're selling to dealerships? Like, what is the most frustrating part about what you're selling, what you're doing?
Well, of course it's frustrating. I mean, if it wasn't, I hear an echo, just so you know. Of course, there's frustrations of trying to get the message across, make people understand. And I mean, truly, everyone knows the automotive industry is just behind the times in a lot of items. I mean, a lot of people are still using QuickBooks and handwriting tickets, like kind of mind blowing sometimes, that it's challenging to change the misconception of like tires aren't worth the business. It's not like that. That's an aspect that most dealerships don't focus on. So that's one thing. And the fact of data seems like such a scary word, and we hear about all these different data items, and data is also a really good thing that you can learn so much, and there could be so much at your fingertips. The automotive industry does not have nearly enough data, I will say, at people like there's a lot of data sources, but being able to pick that apart and actually make really good decisions people don't want to do. They're like, oh, that's new, that's scary. And it's just embracing the change, or embracing where we're at. I mean, we have AI, we have everything else now that just, we have to accept those things coming in. So those are kind of frustrating, but also that's why we're here. I mean, that's why I like it. I'm competitive. I want to get that across. So there was always got to be a challenge.
Oh yeah, the challenge is what the fun part of it. And going back to data, it's like we've always had data. If you look at the way we as consumers are tracked with everything that we're doing, there's so much data and opportunities for dealers to make better decisions and, grow their business. Just like, I don't know if you want to look at Amazon, what they're doing and all of that stuff.
Well, I just think of like, if you have a smartphone, then you shouldn't be afraid of data, because like that has more information than anything else out there and that's my opinion. But a lot of people get nervous when we talk about data, but it can also help you completely change your business.
Do you think that it's more of like, instead of getting scared, they're like more overwhelmed with like the data and like what to do with it, because there's just so much? They
Or
don't.
just trusting the data, I think, because what I've seen is a lot of people they base all of their predictions off of history. Well, it's only your history and in your market. And when you think about it, you also want to gain new business. You want to grow your business. So you have to look at it from what are other people doing? And most decisions are made on only their historical information. So I think that I think is challenging for them to change that mindset of I've done it this way. I've been successful for 30 years in business. Why change it versus, hey, what are other people doing? I want to be innovative. I want to change. I want to grow. So I think embracing that, and some people are okay being complacent, but most people aren't. They want to grow. They want to make more money. They want to grow their business. So it's a different outlook on it.
It is, and I think that when you're constantly evolving and changing is how you're growing. If you look at all the other companies that aren't in automotive, they don't just keep doing the same thing. They keep
Mhm.
doing and growing. So
Otherwise, you're going to be put out of business if you don't. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. If you don't change with it, like you are left behind.
oh yeah, scary stuff, but we got to talk about it. Okay, so I've got two more. Oh, this one's a fun one. How would your kids describe what you do?
They have no idea. So for my son's 4K graduation, they had to list like what they wanted to be when they grow up. And he said like paleontologist, he wants to be a teacher because my husband's a teacher. And he listed like 5 other things. And then the last one is, and whatever my mom does. And so like that makes me laugh. And then I've asked, and they honestly have no idea. They know I work with one of my friends. So they think I just chit chat with my friend all day. They've not a clue. They run in and out of here and they have no idea.
And how old are they again?
Parker's 5 and Malin is 8.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're still young, so they don't quite. Yeah, my daughter has no idea either.
I mean, the entire kindergarten parents were laughing so hard, and whatever my mom does, that's what I want to do. So it's cute.
That's really cute. That's how sweet too, because that just shows he admires what you're doing. He just doesn't know what he just wants to do whatever you're doing.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last question I have is, because you're a mom and you have a career, do you have any advice on balancing both? I don't want to call it work-life balance. I'm just saying balancing both career and mom life.
Well, it's not easy. Most people know that. And we talked about grace, giving yourself grace. My biggest thing is finding an employer that truly cares that you want to balance it because as you know, you have a younger one. I mean, my kids are 5 and 8 already, and they are really only little for a small amount of time. And there was many times where I felt very pulled of like, do I take my kids to a doctor's appointment or do I go to work? And are they mad at me? And I was constantly wondering and anxious about it. And instead of just talking about it and saying, do you actually care? Like if I leave, like just making sure that you have that open communication with your employer, I think is really important. But also they are only little once and it goes by really quick. And I wish they honestly offered more. Every employer offered like more vacation when your kids are younger because that's when you need it. That's when it's like the most challenging of times. And daycare sends your kid home every time they sneeze. Like it is really, really challenging. But I think giving yourself grace, understanding that your family is number one, but if you're with an employer that doesn't understand that, does not value that, your kids are only little once. And I personally I wouldn't be able to work there. I've been blessed that I've worked for employers that really they helped with the balance, and Torqueda truly does understand that balance. And I never have a fear, but I've also have very open communication of, do you care if I take off? Like you need to tell me, otherwise I'm gonna do it. Like I don't know, that communication piece is really important. And giving yourself grace. It's important for our kids to know we work hard. And like Parker and Malin, like I want them to see that mom works. I want them to see that mom contributes to the household and that dad can do laundry too. Like that's always been a really important aspect for me. So I think it's okay to work and not be at every single thing for your kid too. Like it truly is a balance, but both are really important.
They are, yeah. And I think the summertime is probably the hardest, right? Because they're out of school and you want to go on vacation or you want to do things with them and you have to like plan and coordinate. And it looks like you achieved that, right? You guys went on vacation, I think I saw.
Well, my kids were in Florida for 3 weeks, at grandma and grandpa's. Highly recommend, as a parent, send your kids to grandma and grandpa's for 3 weeks. The parents would enjoy it, but no, we've taken many vacations. I mean, and truthfully, like, I've prioritized that of like that's good time and for me to turn off, to me not having to work. I mean, again, there's still a balance. Like, I still have a day job. I still need to make sure my team is successful as their manager, and being there to support it. But like, I went to Amsterdam and my phone didn't work. Like, that was fantastic. So I
Yeah,
think it very much is a balance, and that it's good for your kids to see, I think.
it is. And it's good for them to spend time with grandparents too, because that's a special time
Oh,
as well. Yeah.
well, then my husband and I, like, we went to happy hour every day, like, because those are things we don't normally get to do. But like
Yeah.
that's a good balance, because not only are you balancing being a mom or a parent, you also have if you have a spouse, you're balancing that relationship, and then you're balancing your work relationship. That, I mean, it
You
really
have
is.
friends too, if you have friends.
Yeah, and some of us have friends, but
Yeah.
it really is a challenge that to balance. And I mean, as a new mom, I wish I would have been more confident. Like, if I had a baby now, it would be very different. We're done having kids, but if I think I would be a lot more confident of saying, like, this is what I need, and not so self-conscious of what do they think now that I have a kid. I don't know. I think it would be different if I had the confidence. But I was also really young. I had my daughter when I was 23. So I just think having confidence of what you need and making sure you communicate that to your boss is really important, because most likely they understand a lot. I mean, they might have kids of their own and understand that. So
Yeah, most people do. So they understand. And so you're saying the best advice is just to communicate, know what you want, and make sure you're working for someone that supports you.
yes. But it is harder in automotive because it's a male dominated industry, and in historically, men don't care for the children like women do. And it's different. Moms and dads are different. We all know that. So it is more challenging, but stand up for what you need.
I believe in that too. That's amazing. Okay, I think I asked you everything. Was that 7 questions? Yeah, that was it. That was 7 questions. I always like to ask my guests if they want to ask me a question. You don't have to, but if you have a question you want to ask me, you can put me in the hot seat.
Do you have a baby name?
I do, yes.
Is it
Aiden.
public?
Yeah, Aiden is what I'm
Aiden.
going to. Mhm.
Oh, cute. I like that name. That's really exciting.
Yes, I'm excited. We're going to have a boy and a girl. So,
That's what I have. And girl and boy, same as you. Like, the oldest will be a daughter. So
oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I didn't grow up that way. I grew up the youngest. Well, yeah, I grew up the youngest girl.
I grew up with 2 older sisters, so I was the baby, which probably has something to do with my personality I have now. And but yes, it's fun having a boy and girl. We're done. We're hitting our 10-year wedding anniversary next week. So
Aw, that's exciting. Are you guys doing anything fun?
no. Hopefully next year. We've done a lot of vacations, so we're taking a break, but we'll probably do something next year. So
Oh, good. You
yes.
got to do something special. Well,
I'm gonna take off the day and I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
oh, good. That's okay. That's enough. Just
Yeah.
take off the.
It's important. So
It is. So how can people reach you if they want to reach out to you? How can they connect?
LinkedIn. Otherwise, I can post on here my email address. But happy to share any of the information of what Torqueda does. Otherwise, I just like chatting automotive and learning from other people too. So I can post that on there. You can email me, call me. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. So and I plan to try, now that I've been with Torqueda long enough and I understand it, I plan to start posting more on LinkedIn again. Now that I feel confident with it, because it's been about just over 3-ish months that I've been here. So now I'm ready to go.
Good. Yeah, it takes some time to learn, and we're excited to see what content you come up with because you're really good at that stuff, and learn more about what Torqueda is all about. So thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Kaylee.
All right.